So today we're just going to do a venison ragu, which is actually really tasty. So we've just got a saucepan on the hob. Now you can do this on the hob or in the oven. I was going to do it in the oven, but I've just decided that I'm actually just going to do it hob only. So I just go in with 2 rashers of smoked bacon, 2 onions chopped. The flavours from this are beautiful and it really works with the venison. So we're just going to sizzle this around. Not for very long, just until the onions start to soften. So as I say, what you can do is you can do this in an oven-proof pot and then just pop it into the oven, because I cook it for about 3 hours. But as I say, this one I'm just going to do on the hob, just for the ease of showing it to you, but it's either or, on the hob or in the oven. So we're just going to sizzle those away just until the onions start softening, which won't take long because this pan was already quite hot with a couple of drizzles of olive oil in it, so this won't take any time at all. So this is one of those that's very minimum hands-on time, and then the majority of it just blips away and blips away nicely on its own. So now we're going to just go in with 2 bay leaves. I normally give them a little bit of a crush just to help release their flavour. It's already smelling nice just with the onions and the bacon. So we can see those onions are starting to soften down a little bit. Won't take much longer. Sizzling away quite nicely. Beautiful. Right, so now we're just going to turn the heat up a little bit, and we're going to go in with ½ kilo of diced venison. So all we want to do now is just get a little bit of a seal on the meat. Lovely. We're going to go in with 2 cloves of garlic, which we're going to grate. All the while this venison's getting a nice seal on it. Perfect. So we just stir this round until each piece has been sealed on the outside. You're not worrying about anything cooking, because as I say, it's going to have 3 hours to cook through once it's all sealed. This makes a nice change from a beef ragu. It's rich and it's just unctuous. It's lovely. So we're going to go in with 2 cloves. As I say, just stirring this around until you can see that all your meat is sealed. Nearly there. Beautiful. Nearly done. We're just going to give this a minute or so more just to make sure that that meat's sealed nicely. Smell is lovely. So there you go, we've got no dark meat left now. It's just all gone nice and sealed. Now I know sometimes if you were sealing something like this, you would seal it and so that it's got a very dark brown seal. I don't think it needs it on this at all. Obviously you can, you could have sealed the venison separately and put a nice char on it, but I honestly don't think it needs it in this recipe. So we're just going to go in with 1 cinnamon stick, 2 tablespoons of tomato puree. Just give that a stir around and just cook the tomato puree for 30 seconds or so. Like so. Now I think because we've put smoked bacon in, it doesn't need any salt, but I am going to go in with some black pepper. Finally, I'm going to go in with some red wine, just enough so that the meat is covered. Actually, I may as well finish that off. So, all we do now is just bring this to the boil, and then we're going to get it onto a light simmer. I'm going to pop the lid on, and I'm going to simmer it for about 3 hours. The idea is that after the 3 hours, it should all just pull apart with 2 forks. So the same principle goes for if you put it in the oven. Just put it, the only difference is with if you put it in the oven, then just check on it every now and again and make sure it's not drying out. If it's starting to go a little bit dry, then you can just add a bit more stock or a bit more red wine. The only reason that we're just bringing this to the boil first is because you could then obviously just put it straight in the oven. On the hob, we're just going to bring it to the boil, drop it down to a simmer, pop a lid on for 3 hours. So the same principle is either way. You want a low heat on the hob. If you're going to do it in the oven, then ideally you probably want it on 140, 150 degrees. As I say, for about 3 hours. If it's still not as tender as you're liking, do it a little bit more. But there you go, that's our venison ragu.